We're fortunate that one of the victims, we lost one that we couldn't obviously learn anything from, but we could learn from the others. So victims helping us understand who they purchased the narcotics from.
So you say there's two. Can you break it down again with the two arrests? You say that one sold pills to the girls and then one sold pills to somebody else.
Yeah, the subject one, who's 15 years of age, sold at least one pill to the two young girls. The second subject, who's in our custody, who'll be booked for sales of narcotics, sold the same type of pill to a third victim. And so far, we have a number of victims that have overdosed on these pill sets. We believe, again, our forensics lab is still working on the pills to determine and verify fentanyl, but given the nature of the overdose and the physical symptoms of what occurred, we believe it to be fentanyl-laced. And we know in our seizures of millions of pills on a regular basis that these pill mills regularly use fentanyl as a means of spiking or lacing the drug. I have here today with me, as I referenced earlier, the special agent in charge of the Drug Enforcement Agency for Los Angeles, and he would tell you that, Mr. Bodner, that this is the #1 target. It's the #1 threat in America today in regards to narcotic trafficking.
And they were all sold in the park, though?
No. The first transaction that we're talking about here today, there have been other transactions. The first transaction we're talking here today occurred on campus between subject one and our two victims in that single transaction. Subject two had that transaction occur there at the Lexington Park, nearby park.
Chief, was there a second victim at the park? And if so, on Tuesday, and if so, what was the age of that victim? And the person who was arrested at the park, they're 16. Do we know where they were or should have been in school?
The second subject was not arrested at the park.
I'm sorry.
The second subject was arrested coming to school this afternoon. The number of victims we have overall, we have reported overdoses dating back to the 26th of August. Overdoses occur, drug overdoses, every day in this city, and many times both with young people as well as others. And we do believe that this is a series of events. We've identified 4 victims. That number can change as we learn more about hospitalizations or visits, people recovering from an overdose. Remember, this overdose can manifest itself, and some people will survive it and will pass out for hours and may come back and actually survive this, and others will lose their life over such an overdose.
But is it accurate to say that on Tuesday there were 4 victims? On Tuesday there were...
Come on up. I'm going to introduce Lieutenant Radke. He's the officer in charge of the West Bureau Homicide Unit.
So yes, on Tuesday there were at least 4 victims. However, that 4th victim has not come forward. Fire department responded out there. They were at the park, and we were told that they were given Narcan by an unknown person and survived, and therefore did not come to the police.
Lieutenant, explain Narcan.
So Narcan, as you know, is a very good drug to help stop people from dying from fentanyl. Everyone should have it in areas where we're suffering from a large amount of people with problems with this drug. So many officers carry Narcan, the paramedics have Narcan, and it's administered on a daily basis within the city of Los Angeles. We're going to do everything we can to take this investigation as far as it can go. As a homicide investigator, we've captured the immediate culprits. However, we will have support from Gang Narcotics Division and the DEA in trying to pursue the people that provided these drugs.
Can you clarify which campus? Because I know those campuses are neighboring. Which you say was sold on campus?
It's the same. I can. Or you can blame. It's the same campus where there's a number of academies and one charter school. So it's actually they're all coterminous on the Bernstein campus. But I think the distinction that the superintendent let us know is that it's an independent charter there that was referenced. But the victims were in one of the academies. that's not the charters. So those students mix because it's the same campus.
And the 16-year-old suspect, do you know what school that student attended? Or
They-
do you see that information?
Both of the individuals that we believe are involved in this trafficking attended the Apex School, the independent charter. And let me just answer a follow back to Pete. Our HIDTA task force, the High Drug Intensity Task Force, these are made up of detectives that look for not the sellers, but look for the mid and higher levels. They have been tasked with this. Captain Carranza is here, Mr. Bodner's here. They rolled out. We summoned them because we knew immediately that these were students selling to students, and we're looking for the people who are using them solely for their access to this campus to purvey these drugs of death. And we will use every investigative resource. I do want to make you aware, as these are subjects, someone said, "Are you interrogating, squeezing?" These are minors. These young individuals enjoy, obviously due process, but also they have representation, legal representation. We're prohibited by law to question them like we would otherwise an adult, to find the type of information we typically would if this was an adult. So the department, but we have many strategies, we have many other techniques and abilities, and we'll work around that. And of course, if they wish to volunteer information, we'll take that information as well.
Chief North, these are two minors on a huge campus. Is there any concern that there may be other students who are selling drugs at this age group?
Well, I'm going to give this back to the superintendent for that. He knows his campus best, as does his district administrator. And certainly we work in support of Chief Zimmerman and his LA Unified School District Police in ensuring the safety of these campuses.
Thank you, Chief. So very quickly, let's be clear about one thing. This latest incident, very disturbing incident, involving two perpetrators from an independent charter school and two victims from Bernstein, is not isolated. So we should not interpret from this that Bernstein is a bad school. No, Bernstein is a regular school facing the same challenges as many other schools. So is it possible that there are other individuals, not only in that school, but in other schools? It's not only possible, it's likely that in fact that is the case. That is why, coupled with this investigation, there will be the mounting of a very, very aggressive awareness campaign with parents, with students, regarding the identification of certain behaviors, certain trends, the consequences, which some parents and students do not understand. They think they're just popping a pill and get a cheap high, not understanding the potentially life-threatening consequences that can arise from that. In addition to that, our priority will be to create additional safe spaces through collaboration. But the short answer to your question is, it's not only likely, it is quite possible that there are other individuals who are consuming the drugs and other individuals who are the pawns of a bigger organization, more than likely an adult organization that uses them as pawns of destruction.
Based on your investigation so far, has that yielded any information from students maybe saying it's not just that, but this person's doing it, this is kind of what I'm getting?
We're very early. Our efforts in the last 48 hours have been to pursue and identify those responsible for this incident and what's behind them. We'll continue to work this investigation and take all the leads where they lead us. We'll work with the school district. We certainly welcome student information. We know that the students have their own information channels and awareness of what happens. High school's changed a lot since I've been there, but I'm sure it hasn't changed that much. So we'll also look to the administrators to work with us as to what they hear. This is, I will say that, and I just want to draw one point here. Previously, we would have LA Unified School District police officers on these campuses. I miss the fact that they're not there, but in some type of extraordinary event, because they also have been another set of ears for individual kids that may or may not be involved in this, to know that they've got a friendly, secure ear, somebody they can talk to, that can help intercede in this. This is not a superintendent's decision. It's been beyond that. But as a law enforcement professional, I am concerned about the safety net that we have for our children in these schools. not to distract from the severity of this and so forth, but I think it needs to be said that our awareness in this campus is quite limited, as it should be, and protected. The kids are there to be educated and to learn. Shouldn't be a police state, but our presence on the campus otherwise is only in response to an active shooter, only in response to an emergency. We can do better than that.
Chief, you referenced August 24th as the date that incidents started occurring?
I'm having trouble with my communications today, sir. I believe I said August 26th.
I'm sorry.
Yes, no worries.
August 26th. That was my mistake.
Oh, yeah.
But do you know how many incidents since then?
No, we've had a number of incidents. As what's been reported is, again, as Lieutenant Radke indicated, we have this individual that we know, a fourth person on the day of this event, when the first discoveries were made, that we've yet to identify. We know the fire department rendered aid, and that person is now back in our community, and we want and need to talk with that individual. We believe we have other victims as well, people who may not have even sought medical treatment, but somehow survived this incident. As the superintendent indicated, we know we have a consumption of illicit drugs, pills, by students in all of our school systems across the country. And with that, the awareness campaign is the best means. We're going to search down the persons who use these young people as pawns to sell these narcotics. We're going to identify those suppliers. That is our commitment right now. But a more effective means across an organization of 440,000 young people is to increase awareness so that we can prevent the consumption of these drugs and the Russian roulette that's being played every time a pill or drug is taken.